Alright, hey everybody. I want to make a deep dive video today. Really want to recap. I'm going to try to go through most of my trades, so this one might be a long video. And the reason why I want to do that is because I was down the most money I've been down in I believe over a year. So I was at one point down $900 in the red. Not a good feeling. Really one of the worst feelings when you lose your composure, you know you lost your composure, and you're just sitting there down 900 and you have a full day of trading ahead of you. These losses occurred, I would say, in the first 30 minutes of trading, maybe first hour of trading. So, it's just not a fun place to be in mentally. You just know you have a full day of work ahead of you and you just have this sinking feeling that you really messed up. So I want to go through how I got myself in that position and also explain how I got myself out of that position because I ended the day up $1,600. So I went from the worst day I've had in over a year to ending, like one of my best days. So $1,600 in the green. Let's get into it. Alright, so first off, it looks like I traded IFRX. This one, you guys know I've been watching it for the $5 breakout. I said I was looking for PR. It gets the PR, gaps up, does dip a bit into the open. I figured since it dipped, I could scoop the dip buy and maybe it would rebound and just, maybe hold up and then test the pre-market highs later on in the day. So I saw something I liked. Maybe not something I liked, but I was just comfortable enough to take it. So I bought 453,000 shares. It didn't surge how I wanted, and then it started to look weak, so I got out at 457. So I took a small loss on that. Not really a big deal. CVU. Let's go to CVU. Like I said, I'm going to try to make this go as quick as I can, but for my sake, I'm going to go through every single trade. I really need to recap everything. Just because I fell apart today and I need the review time. So my apologies, it's going to be a very long video. So just keep that in mind, I guess. Alright, so CVU, it had 4.5 million purchase order. So I saw that on the multi-day, this thing has some really bad stuff going on with it, and it tanked from $6 to the $3 area. And then I got a 4.5 mil contract news, so I was like, oh man, if this can start going, we could see like a bounce to maybe 450 on the news. And I just didn't wait for it to develop, really. So I got in at 378. I sold it at 367, it looks like. Then I jumped back in IFRX at 454. Okay, I really messed up on IFRX. Wow. Okay. So basically, to wrap up CVU, it was choppy, and then I started over trading it because I was really thinking that it was going to surge to the upside, but it just wasn't. And instead of just taking one entry, one exit, which would normally be okay, I took multiple. So I bought and sold this thing multiple times. You can see I rebought CVU like 1,000 shares at 364, ended up cutting at 357. Just really, really bad, just bad over trading on this. Alright, so on IFRX, it looks like I chased this right here. That's what it looks like to me. So it got out of the triangle, and I chased this 454 entry with 1,000 shares. And slam dunked on me, and guess what I did instead of just cutting my losses? I started waiting. know what happens when you wait? Your loss becomes bigger than it should have been. So I waited around, it sold off on me, and I cut it at 436. I really should have cut it at like 445. So I lost nearly, like an extra $100 for basically no reason. That was really bad. So you can see just from me over trading, taking these silly losses, and also I'm buying things more than once. So when my buy attempt fails, I'm taking these things for like a second time. Usually they work on the first time if they're going to be great plays. So don't like my re-entries on CVU or IFRX. I was just trying too hard, I was too desperate for the play to work instead of just being like, okay, it's not very developed, it's not very good, I should just give it time. Instead of giving it time, I tried to force it to work, and that never works out, so I got crushed. Alright, let's go over my biggest loss of the day. So if those trades weren't bad enough, you should see how I traded CBLI. Now, before I talk about the trades, I want to say this. People that follow me know, I have said this before, some of my biggest red days are on the days that are some of the hottest. So when things are moving, and there's a lot of great moves, and a lot of people are making a lot of money, on a day you would think I would crush. Those are the days that are the scariest for me because I get fear of missing out. Okay, it's called FOMO, fear of missing out. I get it bad. I get it bad when everything's going crazy. I saw APT gapping, Codex was running, just a lot of things were happening, and I didn't want to miss out. So that caused me to get emotional. And when you're emotional, you are not in a good state of mind to be trading stocks. So I got fear of missing out. That's why I was really just going crazy this morning, completely losing my composure. So, let's take a look at CBLI. Okay. So the first thing I did wrong was buy the top of the range. So I bought 2,000 shares at the top of the range at 235. Okay, I get the nice breakout of the range I was looking for. And then I add 2,000 shares at 240. Okay, this completely breaks my rules. It's just an awful ad. There was no bid support to warrant the ad, okay? And I'm buying at the pre-market resistance. I am buying at the top. I am buying the top. Okay, if this thing doesn't break out, I'm going to get crushed because I'm buying it at the very top. This is so bad. There was absolutely no reason to buy 2,000 more shares at 240. Even my 2,000 shares at 235 was pretty bad. And then I just make it worse by making an emotional buy at 240. So I'm in 4,000 shares at 237.5. What do you think happens when this thing doesn't break out? Comes down and gets slow. Now, if I had just kept my 2,000 from 235, maybe I would have made a logical cut. But what do you think happens when I'm in 4,000 shares? All of a sudden, I really want it to work because I'm in 4,000 shares. If it breaks out, I'll bank. I'll make money. It'll be great. Okay, I was running on emotions. Pure emotions, no logic. So when it got weak and it was time to sell, do you think I cut? Nope, I didn't cut. I just held it. And then, guess what happens when it starts to free fall? I sell it at 225, right at the bottom, because I was so emotional and just, I had already been over trading other tickers. And I was already down about 200 or maybe $250 at this point. When you're emotional, you make awful buys, And it goes both ways. Okay, you make awful sells as well. So I made an awful sell on this at 225. So that's 12 cents a share on 4,000 shares. So that's almost a $500 loss. And yeah, grand total between my awful trades on, you can go down the line. I mean, they're all awful. And then I started chasing AHPI. You get a 382 buy. I sell it at 377. Oh, I don't know what was happening with me, but I was losing it. It was probably in this area right here. I was trying to play it for a flag, but like, just look at what the ticker already did. It already went from 397 and it already showed it's capable of pulling back 50 cents. This is not the type of ticker that you take near the top of range. It is so risky and stupid. This is... I mean, how I was trading this morning, you would think that I've never traded before. I mean, that's how bad I was trading. This is what happens when you get wrapped up in emotion. Okay, I can't say... I'm going to repeat this as many times as it takes for me to get it in my head. Can't get emotional. Alright, you just can't do it. Get emotional, you're going to get crushed. And I got super emotional. So... Alright. Alright. I just adjusted my order book and this is the next trade. The only good trade of the morning that I took was PRTK. So this one, it had an after hours move. It was, it beat by 16, missed on revenue. But the main reason why I was watching it was because of the PR in the morning. They're going to present at a healthcare conference and just coming off of some, it appears, decent earnings. I was going to watch it. Let's look at the long-term chart. It is capable of moving. Even though this is a 31 mil float, I mean, it definitely is capable of making some good one-day moves. So I was willing to watch it. Alright. So I take this setup right here. It's kind of... I guess it's like... I would just call it a wedge. So I take the breakout of the wedge. I didn't really get the best fill. I mean, you can kind of see, like, even with my entry on this, 2,000 shares at 380. And I hate to say it, because the trade did work out, but I don't even know if I like this entry. I mean, I like 377, but to be honest with you, 380, I don't know. Even this was kind of... You could see in my trading, I was just kind of emotional, just kind of buying stuff. I mean, my thesis was on point. You can see it worked great, but maybe I'm just being overly critical on that. I really like my sell. I gave it a ton of time. It couldn't break out over 4. I sold it at 397. So that was my best trade of the morning. You know, that was good. How much money was that? I want to say $350. So it brought me from being $900 in the hole to $555 in the hole. And that was like a nice confidence boost. I really needed that. Really did need that, because that let me know, okay, you're through the worst of it. you know you effed up big time, you got super emotional, took $900 in losses, but now you're down 555. Just slow it down. Just slow it down, wait for setups that you're comfortable with, reset your mentality, right? So I just reset, and then I was ready to go. I was just ready to go forward with a stable mindset. And that's what you gotta do sometimes. Just reset yourself. That's easier said than done sometimes, but you see on the order book, I FOMO bought AHPI at 398. My buys on that was awful. Sold it at 393, so I lost another 50 for no reason on that. Okay, Kodaks. Actually, nice trade on Kodaks. Okay, let's take a look at Kodak. This thing was a monster. Kind of like one day behind APT. The APT had that monster run, and then Kodaks had the monster run today, and it set up similar to APT like yesterday. So I really should have just put all of my focus on Kodaks to really, but anyways, I took this entry, 2,000 shares. I saw it perk up like this. I saw it bottom, and it really, see this red candle here, it held really nicely at 520, and then it rebounded, and it rebounded hard. So there was a big wall at 530. I saw it surging into it. I took 2,000 shares at 530, and I get like instant upside. So where did I sell at? 549. I mean, I sold it like a minute later, because at that point, you know, I'm kind of just trading to recover, if that makes sense. It's like I'm down 550, and I'm like, okay, I can let's lock up this really fast win, and I wanted to kind of put a bandage on my red day instead of maybe like trading to make great trades, right? That's a whole nother issue in itself, but you can see I just take a small chunk, and that put me, I was red $170 on the day after that Kodaks play. And so that's when I made my Twitter post about how I was minus 900 and now I'm minus 170. It's set up multiple different times throughout the day, and I don't know why. I just didn't play it. I just stopped playing it, and I'm not really sure why. Yeah, I don't know. It formed really good TA throughout the day, multiple different entry zones. Yeah, I'm not sure. I just took that one little play. I'm pretty sure that was my only trade on it. What a monster, though. What a monster. Wow. Sorry, it's just when you see plays like this that have this much liquidity and this much range, it's just special, you know? Just like a special sight to see. I just like taking it in, you know? Incredible stuff. Alright. PRTK. My savior today. Alright, so I saw it bounce off VWAP and then break out of the wedge with volume. So it's like broke out of this downtrend off of VWAP bounce. Maybe a little bit of a late buy with 395, but I saw the walls get taken out, and then 395 there's like 3,000 shares on there on the ask, so I scooped 2,000 of them. just in anticipation that we were going to test $4 again. I was like, well, I might as well get in at 395 instead of try to catch 4, you know, like I feel like I'd be more comfortable with 395. So that's what I did. We do test 4 and then it consolidates. I hold strong, we get the breakout. I take a conservative exit at 408 because at that point, and I battled and I was out of the hole. You know, with that trade, I was out of the hole and I was positive $85. And it was just, it was the craziest feeling, you know, when you have your worst red day in over a year. And it's like you somehow keep it together and just string a few wins together, and all of a sudden we're back out of the hole. I'm green on the day, you know. It's just one of those moments where it was just a relief. It was a relief, and yeah, it's just, I can't even describe the feeling. I just did not expect to get out of the hole today at all. I thought I was probably just gonna have a disgusting red day, and that was it, you know. But it just goes to show, if you can regain your composure, keep your head in the game, hey, you can come back. You can come back from anything. You just got to get your head back in the game. Just got to get focused again. What I like to compare trading to is like a sport, and I mean, some people may hate that comparison, but I think of it like a sport, you know, like if you're a player on the field, your team is, you know, playoffs or something, are you just going to be like, oh, I had a bad first quarter, I'm out, guys, I'm done, I'm leaving, good luck? No, you're going to get your head back in the game, go back out there and kill it, you know, and win the damn game for your team. That's how I think of it, like, as myself, trading. I think of it like, okay, you had a bad start, but get back in there. You know, there's work to be done. So I just got back in there, stayed focused, and it worked out. Got big time. So now I'm out of the hole. Bit of a relief. I took AHPI again. This time I had a small win on it. I just saw this sell-off, and I saw some development on the tape that I liked. I took 374 and I sold it at 387. So it's kind of debatable whether that's good or not. I mean, I don't really like it, but I made some money on it. I don't know if I was still emotional at that point. Like I'm sure I've been making bad trades all day, but at least I had some good ones in there, I guess. So yeah, I made like $120 on that. What's this? An entry at 390, and then I cut it at 388. Okay, so I lost $20 back on that. NNVC. Okay, let's look at NNVC. Okay. So I scalped this, and I shouldn't have. I mean, I knew the TA was great, and I knew that, you know, APT and Kodaks had their big runs. I just figured NNVC could definitely go. So I took 888 right here, break out of the triangle. It's great TA. You know, this is a great entry. I like it a lot. I don't love my exit. I took 914 exit. I don't know. I knew I should hold it for the dollar a share upside. Like in real time, I was just saying like, okay, this is probably gonna hit, you know, like $10 test or something, but whatever. I just scalp it. It is what it is. I make a little over 100 on that. Now I start battling CBLI again. So took it all day, but it started to develop again. This time, I got some better, well, kind of better. Let me put it this way, like, I jumped in at 233 because it was testing, you know, I could see it was going to test 235 wall. 235 wall did not break out, and then I started having flashbacks. Of the morning and how I took massive loss on CBLI. I'm sorry, I got in at 232. Close enough, right? Okay, so I ended up cutting at 233. So I made $20 on this because I just had really bad flashbacks of me getting crushed in the morning on this. And I just, yeah, I said 235 wall is not breaking. I'm getting out of this before I get crushed again. So it did dip to 230, it held, and then rebounded, tested 235. Now, unfortunately, CBLI crushed my confidence so much today that I only took 1,000 shares. So in the morning, I took 4,000 and got crushed. I took 2,000 here, got scared out for a small win, and then I re-entered for 1,000. And it worked, right? It worked this time. So that's tough. That's not great. So when it finally works, that's when I had my smallest share size. I do like how patient I was, though. I mean, I sold it at 280. That's pretty good. That's $450. And you know what? I captured a lot of that upside. Sure, you know, debatably I could have re-entered this dip, which just, you know, provided some really great upside opportunities again. But you know, I didn't play it again, or in this area. I think I did play it again, tried to scalp it. Alright, so you can see the 235, and it sold at 280. Then I bought 6,000 TNXP at 106, or 105, thinking it was going to break out or squeeze, and then it got weak, and I cut it at 104, so I lost $60 there. Took APT, 1243, sold it. I was jumpy on this APT. Basically just break even on APT, and then PRTK. I jump back in right here at 419 for the new high of day breakout, and I get the rip. I get a really nice rip. I analyzed the tape. I tried to let it roll. Once I thought it was getting weak, I cut it to 438. So that was another nice win. So small wins add up. 18 cents a share, 2,000 shares, $360. So small wins add up, you know? This is what I was doing, just trying to take setups that I was comfortable with. PRTK, I mean, you're talking 3 out of 3 green trades on this thing. I killed this, alright? I did great on this. I like to give myself credit when credit's due, and PRTK I did great on. So that was amazing, you know? I think I made $960 on just this name today. So my savior, you know, it really helped me out. It helped me out big time. What next? Just pause real quick. Alright, so these are the rest of my trades. You can see the 420 got out 438. CBLI, I took 295 because it was testing 3. It did get a $3 breakout. I was gonna try to sell it in the teens, like 315 area. Didn't get it, started looking weak, and I just was like, oh man, I'm out of this. Because overextended, like in my eyes, I thought it was overextended. I didn't want it to reverse dump on me. So I got out at 3, made $50. And then, oh, IFRX, I took another entry on, so. Okay. Let's take a look at IFRX because I redeemed myself on it, so that was nice. Okay. So I was extremely mad at myself for missing this dip buy opportunity, because it was a hell of a dip buy. Oh man, it was such a good opportunity, and I was just not in the right state of mind at 10:06 a.m. Not in the right state of mind, but I was really sharp in the afternoon. So I saw it form, and the level 2 development was really nice. Lots of bid support creeping up. I took the 449, 450 area on bid support creep up. And sure enough, we broke out of this trend. I mean, it double bottom support and then it broke out of this downtrend. I'm not gonna say it was the cleanest play ever. I will say that the bid support justified an entry and it worked out really nicely. These things don't always work out that nicely, but this one worked great. And I sold it early. I sold it at 468, locked up $360 on this play. A little disappointing because I kind of got faked out in a way. So I sold it right here. What do you think happened right after I sold it? 12,000 shares appeared on 470. So if I would have just waited 10 seconds, I would have got the support I was looking for, and it rebounded to 480, and I probably would have sold it at 480. But that is what it is. Still a really nice play on that, and you better believe I'm going to watch this thing for the rest of the week. Okay, I will watch this until it breaks out of that gap to fill. I'm determined. So yeah, there's that. That was a really nice play, and that was my last play of the day. Hard to believe. Let's see, we're 32 minutes into the video. If you're still here, congratulations. You can listen to me ramble. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you got some value out of the video. So yeah, that's how you go from your biggest red day in over a year to crawling back out of the hole. And for the day, I am up $1,600. It was a blur, it was a blur. I don't even know how that happened. I don't know how I got out of the hole. There's just so much moving and happening that when it really comes down to it, if you are in a sharp mindset, if you're a good trader, you can bank on days like today because there's so much volatility, so much up and down. The ranges are great. But if you're bad at trading or if you're overly emotional, you lose your composure. These are the days that you can get crushed, horribly crushed. So, I don't know what else to say. I'm very thankful that I had such a big green day after such a just awful start. I'm very thankful. And it was an eye-opener because this hasn't happened to me in a long time. Sure, you all know what I'm talking about when you get that sinking feeling that you did something really bad, where you screwed up bad. Just that awful sinking feeling in your gut. That's what I had. That's what happened to me when I was down 900. So, I had to dig deep today, regain that composure, and just keep going because there was a lot of work to be done, and I knew I could not throw in the towel. That's not an option for me. I don't throw in the towel, I keep going, keep working, and we came out of the hole. So awesome day. Really happy that I got to recap every single one of my trades. Moving forward, let's not get emotional the rest of the week. Let's just be logical. Maybe make my position sizes a bit lower in the morning. Whatever I gotta do, I'm gonna do it because I do not want to relive what happened this morning. I don't want that to happen to me anytime in the near future. Alright everybody, I'm gonna end it there. Thanks for watching the video. You can like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one.